Hello everyone, welcome you all to Salesforce Women in Tech Group Kolkata. We are super thrilled to have day 5 of Service Cloud Consultant Certification Bootcamp. A quick introduction about me. My name is Khyati Mehta. I run Salesforce Women in Tech Group Kolkata. Proud Salesforce marketing champion, and I was also currently featured on Salesforce blog for my outreach work. Professionally, I work as a Salesforce developer at Cognizant Technology Solutions. I am 4x Salesforce certified. Apart from this, I also have DevOps knowledge. Hence, I am 2x Kolkata certified, 1x Blossom Professional certified. I love everything about Salesforce and I absolutely love Trailblazer community. Hence, I am a community speaker, a Trailhead mentor, and I also like to blog sometimes. So there's my blog name. I'll link all the things in the description so that you can have a look. So this was the agenda of the bootcamp, and we are here with the second last day of the bootcamp. Today we'll be having interaction and data management, which is 5% of the examination that will be taken by Doria, and service console, which is 15% that will be taken by Hossam. Also, a very quick announcement: the Ask Me Anything panel session has been to Tuesday, which is 5th of October. So we'll see you guys over there. There are some contests that we are running. Hence, the mandates to win the prizes are: you have to follow Salesforce Bit Group on LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, and all the community pages. All the links will be mentioned in the description. You also have to follow Appians on all our social media platforms. You have to RSVP and attend all the 6 days of the bootcamp. In general, just try to stay active and share your learnings. Don't forget to tag us over and our sponsors over LinkedIn and Twitter, and use hashtag with Kolkata, with Bootcamp, and Trailblazer community. So there are some contests. I'll just brief you one by one. There will be 3 to 4 questions uploaded daily after the session on Salesforce Bit LinkedIn and Twitter page. All you need to do is just hover around to Bit LinkedIn and Twitter pages. You will see 3 to 4 questions that are based on the session. All you need to do is just answer those questions and just use the mandates that have been described. You can also post about key takeaways from the session and tag us, and also use the hashtags mentioned. You can also post a video of at most 1 minute, wherein you can just share your learnings and what you liked about the bootcamp the best. Spread awareness about the bootcamp and just stay active throughout the bootcamp. You never know what you end up winning. So we have awesome certification vouchers. We have Amazon vouchers and swag kits. So looking forward to it. Service Cloud Consultant Certification Bootcamp is sponsored by Appians. Thank you, Appians, for sponsoring us. We have Hasti with us. So over to you, Hasti.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining in and welcome to the day 5 of Bootcamp. We are super excited to have you with us today, and I'm sure you all must have a wonderful learning experience from the past weeks and are all geared up to learn today from the wonderful experts. As you all know, there are exciting gifts, vouchers, and Amazon coupons on the successful completion of the bootcamp. I'm Hasti from Team Effiance. We are Salesforce registered partners. We have and are working with some of the highly reputed companies and organizations globally. That being said, we have recently started an initiative of Build Your Career in Salesforce LinkedIn Live series, where we invite industry experts and guests to share their insights on all things related to Salesforce. I'll be putting a link to all our social media handles in the comments for you to follow and stay updated with all the recent events that are happening. And happy learning and have a wonderful Sunday. Hi Hosam, it's an honor to have you and see you again. And hi Doria, I look forward to speaking to you for our upcoming LinkedIn Live.
Thank you, Hasti. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you, Appians, for sponsoring us again. So we have Doria with us today. She is a Salesforce MVP. She is a WIT Paris group leader. She is working as a solution architect and also has been called out as Lightning Champion. She'll be taking integration and data management today. The second speaker of the day is Hossam Saudi. He is the very first Salesforce MVP in Africa and is 15x Salesforce certified. He is fully involved in the Salesforce ecosystem and the Trailblazer community, and hence running Salesforce developers group in Casablanca and the North Africa Dreaming. He has also been a speaker at several events and conferences, including Dreamforce, London's Calling, Albanian Dreaming, and just active around the world. He'll be taking Service Console for the day. So over to you, Doria.
Yes, I will try to share my screen.
Yes.
Okay, I think we're good.
Yes.
Okay, so I will present you the integration and data management, which is 5% of the exam. Of course, it's not the most important part, but if you are too short in a good answer, they could definitely make the difference. So I will begin with the integration part. Maybe just explain what we call the integration. So integration is connecting data, application, or processes together. And in the case management, you already covered this part. So here, the case management. And once the case management is done, so basically you have set up all the fields on the case, the life cycle, the assignment and escalation rules, then you go to the second step, that is the setup of all the channels. We can have different channels for your customer to be able to communicate with you. You can have the phone, the email, the form, the chat, many ways to communicate together. Also, you can set up an experience cloud site and help center to display your knowledge article. And in this session, I will focus on the three main domain in the integration: the phone, the email, and the forms, because in my own certification exam, these are the parts that I was asking for. The others are only, let's say, basic knowledge you have to have. So a quick reminder about the what we call omni-channel. The principle is that the client is able to communicate via each channel at their disposal. Then, once he creates a message, a post, a call, any kind of communication channel, everything is routed to queues. The queues can be assigned by criteria or by agent skills, meaning that you can have a queue, for example, for everything coming from your website, but you can also have queues specific for a product or for a service you offer to your client. This is the two main routing you have: queue based or skills based. Then once the queue is fulfilled with the different cases coming in, you will assign it to your agent based on the priority and also the capacity of your agent. And of course, the capacity is related to the channel. And the final step of all this is that your agent will receive the case to the service console, and this is what Hussam will cover with you just after my own session. Now, the first channel is what we call CTI. CTI is for stand for Computer Telephony Integration, and basically it helps you to integrate your telephony system to your service cloud. You can have it two ways, what we call inbound and outbound. Inbound is for the calls coming in, and the outbound is when you are calling your client. When we have inbounds, then we have pop-up like you see here on the screen, that pops up with the record of your the record information of your contact or the list that are calling. And for the outbound, it's also possible to call your contact straight from the contact record page. On mobile, for example, you can have a link on all your phone fields. So when you create a phone field, then automatically the system will override the page to make it a link. And once you click on the link, it will open your telephony system to launch the call. And it's done for mobile and also for desktop. It depends on the on the solution you will install on your service cloud. The principle is of installing a CTI is pretty complex, meaning behind the scene, because on Salesforce it's pretty simple, but behind it's quite complex. Let's start from the simple one, installing the package. So let's say you have a telephony system in place, and then you want to integrate it to Salesforce. Um, Today, there are many CTIs offering Apache packages coming with the solution to be able to integrate them with a few clicks on your service cloud. So first, of course, you install the CTI package, and once it's installed, you will have a call center automatically created. The second thing to do is to add your user to the call center. Of course, do not forget to mark the user as service user, otherwise you cannot have this user using the call center and also not using the console. So you add the user to the call center, which means that you say that this user is able to receive or get or make calls from the CTI solution. And finally, you set up the soft phone interface, and the soft phone interface, I will go back here, is what you see here. So when you receive an email, this is the pop-up giving all the information related to the contact. In general, the system will match the incoming call with the first contact having this number informed in the phone field of the record. If you have duplicates, of course you will have to manage it. Some telephony system will enable the fact to have the duplicates showing here in the page. For other, they will take the first contact retrieved based on the phone matching. This is one point you have to, let's say, to take into consideration when you choose the telephony system. That was This is pretty simple for the integration with Salesforce, but for the exam you will also have to, let's say, to know at least the notion of what is the telephony system behind. So you see here the PBX, ACD, IVR. I will go through this kind of notion just to give you a global overview. So the first one is the ACD. The ACD, you know, when, for example, when you call a company, you will call the central, the global contact phone, and then you have, for example, someone on the line. Um, the person will ask you why you are calling, and then they will redirect you to the right person. Well, this is what we call the SAD. So there is a caller. There you have a queue. For example, say, yeah, you are on hold. Please wait a minute. Someone will answer your phone quickly, and then it goes back to the right agent. So remember that ACD is for automatic call distribution. You don't for the exam. You don't have to know exactly what how it's implemented, but you only have to know what it stands for. Then for the PBX is for the public telephone network. So it allows to have one single entry for all the calls, and then distribute them to the right person. You already, if you work for big company, you already noticed that you don't have necessarily a direct phone number, but only an extension. For example, 6432. This is your phone number. Well, the PBX is the system that will allow you to have extension in your system. And then you have the IVR. This is for interactive voice response. We all know that this is a system saying, for the sales support, press 1. For the service support, press 2. This is the IVR. This can be also linked to Service Cloud, in the way that, imagine that you have for one the sales support and for two the service support. In both cases, a case will be created once the call is redirected to the right agent, but it can also be fulfilled with relevant information. You can have many menus in your IVR. Are you calling for a problem with your billing, a technical problem? Do you want more information on your subscription? This kind of thing. Well, you can populate automatically your case with this kind of information, and then the agent receiving the call will receive it with the right information, and will not have to re-ask the people calling for the same information that they gave, in fact, in the IVR menu. So these, back to this slide, these were the three system. So remember, we have one way to have a single point of entry, let's say a single entry for all the calls, and then we redirect it to the right available agent. Then we have also a way to have extension. Um, the this way we don't have to buy several telephone lines, but there is only one system having all the phone, and then we have like alias, to keep it simple, let's say alias or extension on your phone line. And then we have also the capacity to have a menu when you call, and to ask people question. And yes, also for the IVR. So here we saw that you can press a 1, 2, or 3 to give your answer, but it can also be done um, vocal. You can also give the answer, and then you have a vocal recognition of your answer, and the call will be routed. Okay, that was for the let's say the standard CTI integration. Um, Now we have also another kind of integration, which is service code voice. So service code voice is a fully integrated solution based on Amazon Web Service. Let's say it's a full package. When you take service cloud voice, of course, it's expensive because it includes everything. You don't have to bother about your telephony or your IVR or this kind of thing. Everything is included in Amazon Web Service, and the features included in this solution are the inbound and the outbound. That's the basis. Of course, you can make and receive calls. You have also AVR, so you can set up menu to guide your user before routing the call. It's also possible to have the recording and transcript saved in the case. So imagine you are on the phone with someone. Well, the system will record each sentence you said or your client said in the case. So this will help to resume what has been said during this conversation, and based on that, we will also use the power of Amazon technology, like for example Alexa. Alexa is based on the same technology. Um, Alexa is the Alexa technology is able to recognize the natural language. This is also what we use in Service Cloud Voice, and based on that, you will have, for example, knowledge articles recommendation in real time based on this transcript. This is machine learning. You will also have Einstein next best action, um, guiding you in the right action to do next. For example, it will help your agent to know what he has to do when the client is not happy, or when there was a problem of a delay in the delivery, if there is a technical problem, recommendation of article related to this problem, this kind of use cases. And at the end of the call, uh, Einstein case also wrap up and fill in the case fields, and also a call summary will be saved in the case. So you don't need to, of course, you will have to review the case, but it will fill in your fields and also create a kind of summary of your call. Now, I know that it's the basic language is English. I don't know for other languages how it works. It's available if in other languages, all languages supported by AWS, but I don't know the performance, to be honest, of the other languages. I I pushed a slide just to, I will not go through all this concept, but I pushed a definition of all I have speak about so far, just to give you a summary for the exam. I think it will be useful if you can take a look at it, just to, at least you have to know what we are talking about, not necessarily how we implemented it. And this is for the first integration for the CTI. I don't think you will have many other questions related to it. Um, this is really general knowledge about CTI. Okay. Then the second integration is email to case. I think you will have already other session in this 5, 6 days training, covering the email to case. So this is only one reminder about the how email to case are working. So for the inbound emails, meaning we receive an email, uh, the user will send an email, okay, to a specific uh, a specific support email, and we will route automatically this email to a Salesforce email. So so I will go back to the beginning. When you implement the email to case, the first thing to do when you activate it is to create a routing address, and the routing address is something like at Salesforce 1234. It's a pretty long address. You will notice it directly that it's not that's a real address. It's an integration address. And once you have this address, the first thing to do on the IT side is to redirect all the email coming to your support address to this specific Salesforce address. And this is how it will create a case. All the emails routed to redirected to this Salesforce email address will be created are as cases, or they will be associated to an existing case. They associate the existing case based on the thread ID. Um, if you already have asked Salesforce for support, I mean the official support with the help.salesforce.com, and you receive an email from Salesforce, you will notice that you have your subject beginning with ref dot blah 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 blah. This is your thread ID. Um, good to know that this functionality will be retired. I don't know where they postpone it every time. The thread ID was first in the text or in the subject, and now it will be included in the headers of the email. But the let's say the logic remains the same. You have a thread ID in your case, and this will help Salesforce to match that the email coming in is from the same case than a previous conversation you had. This is for the inbound. Now you have the same for the outbound. You will as a support agent, you will send an email with your support address, and when you send the email, it will automatically add the thread ID to the answer you send, so that once the customer will once again answer this email, it will include the thread ID, and we will go back to the inbound case that we just mentioned before. So this is what I say: when you set up the email to case, you just have to give a name and the global email address. Then it will create you see this kind of email, pretty long. Here, this is where you have to redirect all your email address to. And then you can also set up several things like who is basically the case owner of the case that will be created, what is the priority and the origin. You can also create a task automatically when email are received, or you can also use a automatic response rule, this kind of this kind of things. For the exam, what you have to remember are the limits. You have two different email to case integration. You have the email to case, so the on-demand email to case and the email to case. On-demand email to case, this is what you set up so far when you made the trace. The email to case is the same, but in email to case, the emails don't go through Salesforce network to be sent. So it's not Salesforce that will send the email. It will be sent in your email system. So everything remains in your firewall. Okay. Remember the limits for the size limit, that you can have attachment only under 25 megabyte for the on-demand and over 25 megabytes, you can have question related to that in your certification exam. I had this kind of question also related to the number of emails that can be sent by day. Remember at least uh, those two limits. These are the most important. And the third integration is Web2Case. Well, Web2Case is pretty simple. It's like Web2 lead. In fact, you will have the possibility to choose the field you want to include in your web form. Then you generate it, and it gives you a kind of HTML that you can use as is on your website. Of course, um, you can also make improvement on your website to at least you will have the structure that is needed. So you will have the action in for your post. You will have the returning URL. So basically the callback the when the form will be posted, you will have a redirection page saying like, okay, your question has been submitted. So you have this kind of URL, and once the web form is submitted, you will also have a case created. It doesn't go as far as for integration with emails, but you have at least the default response template. You can also identify the case origin in your email, and you have this kind of form available on your website or any application using web protocols. Related to the Web2 case, what you need to know for the exam are the limits. You have to know that you have only 5,000 cases in a 24-hour period. This is really important. You will have question like, I need to send question to my sorry, I need to send 10,000 case per day. Then already know that the Web2 case will be limited. If you have, I will let you read this carefully. You have also a way of queuing your case when you reach the limit. They are not lost, but you have also a limit on the queue. So be careful with that. Just a bit to keep. I will try to keep it short because I have also the data management section to cover with you. You will receive the slides after the session. Be careful with the limitation. If you have question related to integration, it will be around the limits. Okay. And then we'll cover the second part, which is data management. So data management is about how do I upload the data in my org. We can also have data management related to quality, but I won't cover this case in this session because I think they will ask you a question about the import of data. So what you need to do to import the data in your org. Let's say you have a new client. He has a pretty new org, nothing integrated in the org, and you need to import all the data that were in external other legacy system or in Excel sheets. So the first thing to do is to identify the object to migrate, and not only the object to migrate, but also the dependencies. Um, does the object have a parent or children that we need to import to? So once you know all the object that needs to be migrated, you need to create a plan for the import ordering. For example, when you have to import account, contact, and opportunity, you already know that you have to import first the account and then the contact and then the opportunity, because the contact is related to an account, an opportunity is related to an account and can be also related to a contact. So the order is really important. No, you know which object you need to import, and you know the order of the import. You also need to calculate the storage that is needed to import all the data. You have your global storage under company info in the setup. You will need to calculate that there is 2K, so 2 kilobytes storage needed for each record. Some objects um, don't count for the storage. Basically, all what's related to GDPR, like individual consent, they they don't count for the storage. But for example, for the person account, if you import a person account, don't forget that person account count both for contact and for account. So one person account will be 4 kilobytes by record. Okay. So you know how many records you have to import, you know the storage, you know that okay, the storage is okay. We have enough storage to import all the initial data. You also need to make forecast. Ask the business, for example, how many accounts are created by year or by month. The best is by month. How many cases will be created, and draw a line to see when you will reach the limit of your storage, because you need you need to prevent your org to be 99% filled with data. Then you will be in trouble. You will be in trouble, and it's difficult to contact Salesforce when you are already in the problem. So be careful with the volume and the forecast. And also create custom fields. Custom fields are very important for the import, because it will avoid um, to do multiple load of the same data. Then you create external ID fields marked as unique. This so you can load the same data 1, 2, 3 times, doesn't matter. It will only load the data once. And also with the custom field, it will help you to populate the lookup or the master detail fields to create the relation between your records. Second step is to create templates for the data. So you create an Excel file for each object, and you include you. What I do is that I take data loader. I do an extract of the object, even if there is no record in the object, doesn't matter. So I do an extract of all the fields. So I have the API's name of all my fields. And based on that, I will create an Excel file for the business with as a column. So the first line, the header of my Excel will be the API names of my fields. It will be easier for the mapping once I will upload them via data loader or data loader IO, no matter which solution you will use for the import. Indicate also the field type that are mandatory, and also the external IDs field. They are very, very important for the import. So mark them in your Excel file, and also the length of the fields. If you decide that this field is maximum 50 characters, um, inform the business that the field cannot have more than 50 characters, otherwise it will be truncated. And once you have all this done, you populate your templates. So you populate the Excel sheet you created. Um, Prefer the UTF-8 encoding than the ISO encoding. It's the best. It's the best thing to do, really, because when you have accent in your in your import files, um, encoding is always a mess. So UTF-8 is the best option. And clean also your data before populating. Salesforce is not there to help you to clean your data. The data must be clean before they are imported in your CRM. So deduplicate your data, look for data quality issues, for example, phone with letters in the phone that so they are invalid. You already know it. Missing value for the required fields. This will create errors, so skip them at the source too, and do a quick at the end do a quick test on several records to be sure that the data are in the right format. So you prepare once you have your file to integrate, and you will prepare for the migration. You have to test it before the D-Day. I see so many times on project that the migration occurs 1 week before the um, the launch of the launch with the user. It's very stressful. So test it before the D-Day, please. Load your record in a full sandbox. The full sandbox will have kind of same performance than the production one. Don't do that in a partial sandbox. They are limited. First, they are limited in the storage, and um, they don't have the same performance. So test it on a full sandbox and track the time needed for import. For example, if you know that you have to import 50 millions of accounts, do that for 10 millions of accounts. Best is that you should do them all to know the import, but at least have 10 million, so you can extrapolate the time used for the global import for all the accounts, and take into consideration that there is no SLA for the use of data loader. You can contact Salesforce and say the data loader is used for the import, and it takes too much time to load. They will answer you that there is no SLA for data loader. So um, do don't wait for the last minute to make your import, and then get prepared for all scenario, meaning that you have to communicate the migration planning, so which date, which hour, with the business, and also the estimated duration. Try to do the migration after the working hour, not during the working hour. If you do that during your weekend, be sure that the team will be committed for the whole weekend, not only for 1 or 2 days, because if for 1 or 2 hour, I mean, because if something wrong happen, everyone needs to help to solve the problem, and it needs to be done very quickly. So um, choose the right hour and time to do that, and take a merging, of course. Don't hesitate to take 2 or 3 hours margin. Um, Also write the scenario to treat rejection. There are functional and technical errors that can be happen. For example, functional errors. There is a phone number with the wrong format with letters in the number. For example, this is a functional or data quality, what we also call data quality issue. But you can also have technical errors. For example, you load your contacts and the external ID for the account is not present in your org. So this is a more technical error. You need to be able to analyze this error as soon as possible, and also be sure that the stakeholders are all aligned with what you will do with this report. For example, I had an import this last days, and we had like 2% of accounts that could not be loaded in the in the in the org for several technical reasons. We presented the reason why they can be loaded to the stakeholders, and they are all agreed to say that okay, let's skip this account and recreate them if if it's needed. For example, new contract will be recreated, and or they will be recreated manually and not via the import, but they need to be agree with the scenario. So keep this in mind. And finally, validate your data. So create custom reports or dashboard to show the number of records loaded during the migration. If your migration um, lasts for 2 or 3 days, you need to have custom report and dashboard to be able to see how far you are during these days. Then check the data imported. Um, that Check that the data you imported are aligned with your CSV, but this should be done before the import, of course. Review the exception report. So as I said, you need to report on the exception type to be able to communicate the percentage of error by reason. And once this step is done, well, that will be okay. Now you can also, I will not go too deep in this part of the migration. um, this is for the you can have sequential loads, meaning that you load first the account, then you, when it's finished, you load the contact, and then you load the opportunity. This you can also do this in parallel, meaning that you load account, contact, and opportunity at the same time. This will cause troubles. This will uh, this will cause troubles because of skew. I will show you just after that the skew. Um, you can also have a mix of sequential and parallel, meaning that you can take, for example, all the European accounts, and then you load all the European contact, all the European opportunities, and on the other side you will take all the Asia account, Asia contact, Asia opportunities. That's not a problem because there is a silo between the the data. You will not have locks in your data. And if you do this case, in fact, it's the you you can it's the same than doing this. So why it's important to know how you will load the load order and what you load at which time. It's because you can have skew. The first skew is account skew, meaning that when you when you have an account, for example, you modify an opportunity, it will automatically lock the account. Then it will commit the opportunity changes, and once it's done, it will unlock the account. Now imagine that you load two opportunity in two different transaction. I mean, so in parallel, um, you will lock the account, and then the other opportunity also wants to lock the account. Well, it's not possible. You cannot have two transactions locking the same account. This is what will cause record locking, and also for the sharing. When you change the account and you change the owner, it will recalculate the role hierarchy, and it will recalculate the sharing for the roles. Sharing, you will have a performance issue in your sharing because of your sharing, because the sharing is recalculated. It takes time. So be careful with the record locking. That's why I said first load the account, then the contact, then the opportunity, or you can have a silo by region, for example, to avoid this kind of skew. The second skew you can have is the lookup. When you modify a child, then it locks the parent to avoid the child to be created to modified, and in the meanwhile the parent is deleted. So it locks the parent, then it commit the changes to the child, and then it will unlock the parent. Um, I never this occurs when you have many child under one parent. I never had this problem, but on the other side, the only case I had with uh, more than thousand records under one parent is when I use an object for reference. Like I need an object for all zip codes. I need an object for all case reasons because there are many case reasons. So use it only in this case. Then you have the owner skew. The owner skew is when you modify the owner, and then as seen previously, you recalculate the role hierarchy and the sharing rules. If you have an owner owning thousand, 10,000 records, then the owner must be outside of the hierarchy. So do not give a role to this owner, and prefer also to have a technical owner than a physical owner. And the last kind of integration you can have is related to external object. For the you will not have many questions related to the external object. You just have to know the kind of relationship of available for each case, and when for example, when the parrot is a standard object, then you already know that you can have only lookup and indirect lookup, and when the child object is external, then you know that it's only an indirect lookup that is available. um, know this table by heart. So the principle of external object is they are virtual objects in Salesforce. You have the object available in Salesforce, but in fact, they are stored on external system, and you retrieve them here in this Salesforce in the Salesforce org, but only on demand. They are not stored in Salesforce. So keep in mind this table for your certification, and it will be fine. That was it on my side. Sorry, Hassem. I took a little longer than expected, but there was so many over.
Thank you, Doria, for such an insightful session. We have a question for you. Einstein Alexa enabled integration all will come in one AWS package.
they use the Alexa technology, but you will not have integration with Alexa. If you want to know how to integrate Alexa with the org, there is a really good trail on Salesforce. I will put it in the chat. Um, I followed it, and I was able to integrate my Alexa device with the with the voice and Salesforce.
Perfect. That answers the question. Thank you so much, Doria.
You're
Uh,
welcome.
oh, yes, please.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we have Hossam Saudi, our next speaker for the day. He'll be taking service console topic. So over to you, Hossam.
So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm so excited to be here with you today. Thank you for having me. Before we start, let's take pause for a moment and say big thank you to the sponsor for this session and for the organizer who have made this service cloud bootcamp possible today and those 6 days. Today we are going to learn together about Service Console. So if you are an administrator or developer who want to boost his knowledge about Service Console, this presentation is for you. But before we start, let's talk a little bit about my favorite topic, me, myself, and I. So my name is Hussam Saoudi, and I'm working at Capgemini Morocco as a Salesforce technical lead. This means I'm also a senior developer with deep knowledge of the Salesforce ecosystem, and I understand how to use CRM technology to transform my business, accomplishing specific goals and achieving critical outcomes. And I have write lot of code for a lot of customers. I'm also a Salesforce MVP, first Salesforce MVP in Africa. I have 16 Salesforce certifications. I'm also the Casablanca developer leader, and also I'm a North Africa organizer, and I'm also Dreamforce speaker and Dreaming speakers, and I'm flying around the world to share my knowledge with in three languages: Arabic, French, and English. That's it. So right now, it is an overview of what we are covered during this session. First, we will talk a little bit about the certification because I think we have maybe today some new people join us. So just a reminder. After that, I will speak about an overview about Service Console. After that, we can set up quickly the Service Console application. And after that, we can do a review. So I will ask you a question and you can give me an answer. So please don't hesitate to write the answers in the chat. After that, I will do some demo just about the chat with the Service Cloud and Experience Cloud website. So the Salesforce Service Cloud Consultant exam measures a candidate's knowledge and skills related to win objectives. And you can see here the topics that you need to know. And I just got my Service Cloud certification this year. So you can see for me congratulations in the chat just to stay connected. And my focus it will be for a service cloud console. It's about 15%. So you need to master this topic before the exam. So, and in this session, you should be able to explain the main features of Service Console in Lightning experience, but also in classic version. Describe how to implement different features for the Service Console in the Salesforce Lightning. Identify various user experience requirements that can be solved using the Service Console, and also you can identify the appropriate Service Console features for various business requirements. So now let's talk about a little bit about Service Console. So this topic describes the features of Service Console in Salesforce Classic as well as Lightning Experience. So a Service Console allows support agents to work on a multiple records on a single screen and access different types of common productivity tools and making them work more efficiently. So it's a good and very important future that you need to master. And several business scenarios and appropriate service console future that can be utilized for them. And so we can discuss this right now. So what are the benefits of the Lightning Service Console? So the Service Console is where all of the Salesforce service features come together. The console is unifying help desk experience for agents. Also, it gives you team a 360 degrees view of each and where that customer in your support process. You know what? Think of the console as a camera lens that zooms in and out on your customers. When agents view cases in a console, they can come in all the little details related to the customer. I mean, account, contact, products, and more. Or they can focus on the one big detail, for example, the customer's question or feedback. And a console is a type of Salesforce app that's designed for speed. You can create as many console apps as you need, as long as you don't exceed your organization custom app limits. And just like other apps in Salesforce, you can access it from the app menu, unlike other apps in Salesforce. And a console uses tab-based navigation and a dashboard like an interface. So you can, for example, view and interact with multiple contextual records on screen, solve cases quickly, or retain key information on screen for all time. Also, you can integrate with the Salesforce chat, formerly known with Live Agents. Also, the benefits with the Service Console, it's utility bar. So utility bar allows for a quick access to productivity tools such as history, chat, etc., note, omnichannel, and macros. So I put this slide because I think it's very important. We are still having some customers working with Classic. So we have console, service console in Classic, but also in Lightning experience. And the only things that you need to know, the service specific setup flows. We don't have this in Classic. Can work with Enlighten experience. So you can set up flows and set up flows help users and admins to set up service features like social, email to case, chat, etc. Also, we have a knowledge component. So in Salesforce Classic, this feature is called the knowledge one sidebar component. We have also omni-channel utility. In Salesforce Classic, this feature is called the omni-channel footer component. And also we have the chat functions differently in Lighting experience as routed with the omni-channel. So keep the name because we have some differences about the name with Classic and Lightning experience. So let's start. So Service Console, it's a powerful, really powerful and highly customizable customer service tool to make the most of its breadth and flexibility. And you can use it the service console without any problem, and maybe you can ask yourself how it works. uh, when I say you, I mean the fearless admin, you. Head to the service setup assistant page in setup, so you can enter your main support email address and added agents and added to the assistant create your service app. So licenses for admin channel, chat, or maybe messaging or knowledge. The assistant can also set up this key feature for you. And right now, I'm excited to introduce you this tool. He can help you quickly to set up your service console application. So to get started, open setup and navigate to the service setup assistant. This is your new one-stop shop for setting up your service cloud experience. A single click, start use your service journey and turn on your service app and let the assistant go to work. And Salesforce works behind the scenes to enable your team to support over email, setting up case routine queues and user profiles, saving your time. And once the process is complete, click Get Started to finish the rest of setup. First, you can add your company support email address, and then your team members to turn email inquiries into cases what are routed directly to your service team. And as you can see, it's easy, and you can always return here to add more users later. So congratulations. How easy was that? Just a few clicks, you are ready to get started serving your customers. We have also app setting. Various app settings can be configured by editing the Service Console app from the app manager in setup. For example, here I put the logo. We can also change the color. I put also a name for about my application, a description, and we have also other features that we can use, and we will see it today right now. So as I said, you can add your app and branding, and a custom console app can be created just by clicking new Lightning app from the app manager page in the setup if you want to do it, or if you want to create a second application. So now let's talk navigation, because it's very important to know that there are some questions about navigation. And the console app navigation can be customized by configuring the navigation rules and navigation items. And the navigation rules can be defined to specify whether records of specific objects should open as a workspace tabs or of related records. So as you see here, we have two options. So also with the tab-based navigation, records open as a sub-tabs under the workspace tab of the primary record. And sub-tabs can also be promoted to workspace tabs if an agent need more space. For example, maybe you have a case, and those cases can be opened as a sub tab of account, for example. And the items and the objects that appear in the navigation bar can be selected in app setting if you want. Now let's talk about navigation menu item. And in this example shows the setup on adding items to the navigation menu. So it's easy. You only need to choose your items and click in this button, and you can add it to your navigation menu items. Utility bar, very important features, and this example shows the step on adding item to the utility bar. For example, we can add the macros or maybe a list view, some component, some standard or custom lightning component, and also a component created as a lightning web component can also be added in the utility bar. And the utility bar can be configured from the utility bar section of the app uh, if you want. And for certain utility items, such as Visual Force and OpenCTA soft phone properties, such as icon and can be also be configured. And about the position, let's talk now about that. The utility bar can be set to display on either the bottom left or bottom right of the screen. And some of the most common utilities that can be added to the utility bar are, for example, story, soft phone, omnichannel, macros, notes, etc. You can also add the new one if you want. Also, with the service to master Lightning App Builder, this is a record page, and the record page contains all the record details, fields, related records, and other components of an object record. And the custom record page is a Lightning page that can be customized through the Lightning App Builder, as you see in this example. Now let's talk about some important things. So use Lightning Console apps to view multiple records and their related records on the same screen. Quickly work through records from a list using split view, and we will see what I mean split view. Also, we can open a Lightning Console app using the app launcher. So you have the app launcher. Here we have the object, and those are the tabs. This is a second example. So the first, number one, the app launcher. The app launcher lets you switch between apps, as you know, to switch to another console app or back to a standard app. Use the app launcher if you want. And we have also the name. We can change the name if we want. The name of the app you are currently in is displayed next to the app launcher, and is in this example it's called Sales Console. Number two, the navigation menu, and the navigation menu displays the navigation item, and those item you are currently have selected. And to open the navigation menu, just it's easy. Just click from there. You can view or edit your navigation items. Or selecting a navigation item opens the navigation items home page, for example. And also number three, it's open sub tabs exactly. And number four, it's called split view. So the split view panel can be hidden with, and the records opened from the split view panel open in new workspace tabs. And number five, as I said, it's utility bar. And utility bar lets you access common processes and tools like, as I said, history and notes, etc. This is a second example with our application with our Kolkata logo, Women in Tech. And you can see here the name of the application is changed. Now let's talk about utilities. The utility bar, as you know, it's a great way to give your console users quick access to productively tools like soft phone and history. And to add this utility bar, just added at least one utility item that isn't background utility item. And to remove a utility bar, just remove the background, and you can do it on the setup if you want. We have also the history, and the history components users access to the last 10 tabs opened in the console. This enables them to quickly see recent work without having to search or type. And the utility history utility shows the workspace tabs opened along with the tabs, sub-tabs that were open. And also it's a very nice feature that you should know, because we have this we talk about history utility in the certification, and you need to know that what I mean, what the maximum of records that can have in the history also. Macros utility. So this is another power packet utility item. It's called macros, and they condense a set of tasks into a single click, boosting user productivity by automating common repetitive tasks. And macros give users the power to automate common repetitive tasks, like for example sending case close email, sending an email when we close the case, we can escalate the case if you want, etc. So you need to know what is macros, because it's very powerful tool in the service console. Soft phone for Lightning console. So the voice channel is usually the most utilized customer service channel. And OpenCTA is a Salesforce solution that allows companies to easily integrate telephony systems with the Salesforce, just by using easy to implement API. And soft phone utilities let your Lightning console users make call directly from Salesforce. And it's a very nice features also that you need to know. We have also notes. A core part of a customer service users' daily responsibilities is to take detailed notes of their interaction with customers. For that, we have this feature, and we can use it. For example, if you want to write a comment, etc. Also, we have a chat or formerly live agents. So the let's this feature, it's very important because customers can chat with the agent, um, and it's very cool feature. And we can customize this chart and put it in the web. So you need to know why we have this chat, so, and the benefit. So who can do what with chat? So for customers, we um, have a real time interaction, one-to-one chat with the support agent, get instant help, or maybe the customer can ask questions and provide further details in the same engagement. And he can also get issues resolved quickly. And just an example, for example, if you want to take your service cloud exam certifications or another Salesforce certification, and you have some issue, you can chat with the web assessor using the chat. So this is the same example and the right example. Also, the customer can receive files via file transfer also, and we have a lot of others benefits like a customer. Now let's talk about support agents. So the support agent also can interact with the customers directly from the Lightning console. Um, Also, he can use quick text to reply with pre-written messages in the one click, and we will discuss about quick text today. Also, he can open a new case immediately when a chat appears, and it's a very good and very nice option, because as a support agents, we don't have time. We have a lot of customers, a lot of people who want to chat with us. So if we can have the case open automatically, it's very important to save time. And also there are other benefits for support agents. Also, we have what we call support supervisors. So the supervisor can view chat statistics, and he can filter by skills or buttons. He can view chat between agents and customers also. He can transfer a chat, for example, also. And he can directly chat with the agent privately. And please just a note, the Salesforce chat is an additional feature licenses, and the chat user license indicate how many users can utilize the feature. So the chat is very important, and you must know that. And we have also what we call omni-channel. So omni-channel routes chat requests to the right agent based on availability and qualifications. It also lets you apply consistent business practices to incoming work items. And you can route work to a boot and seat of an agent if you want. And in simple word, you can deliver more efficient support by routing cases to the right agent using omni-channel routing. So just note that somewhere because we have received lots of questions about omni-channel. And we have Omni Supervisor. So you can use the Omni-channel Supervisor to monitor the agent workload and the status of work items that are routine by Omni-channel. And also we have some other use cases. So now let's talk a little bit about chips. So for the Service Cloud users, users must be assigned to the Service Console user future licenses to use the Salesforce Service Console. So you need to know that. And also, if Salesforce knowledge is enabled, the knowledge slide bar can be turned on so that console users can automatically see relevant articles while they simultaneously work with their cases. And we have also the chat user. To use chat in a console, users must be assigned to the chat user future license. So we talked today about quick text. So what is quick text? So we can stop typing the same message over and over, and you can save time if you want. So think and use quick text to insert predefined messages and any standard or custom objects in the knowledge articles, and maybe chat, log call actions, emails, events, also tasks, and also social posts if you want. And after inserting a message into a message field, you have the chance to tailor the text to your situation before sending it. And this is an example, and we can modify and update the text before sending this email. Now, let's do a quick review. So I'm going to share some user experience requirements with you, and you need to find the future or the solution to use. So just write your answer in the chat, and I think you are ready. So for the first question, for example, for this requirement, if you want to, for example, handle chats with the customers in the same workspace as the agent is working in when dealing with cases. So if I ask you what's the future or that you need to think about. So we don't have time. One, two, three. The answer is the Salesforce chat. So the Salesforce chat can be integrated into the service console, and cases can be created from a chat if required. And this is first question. And I know you can answer other questions. So the second question, for example, handle emails with customers in the same workspace as the agent is working in when dealing with cases. What is your solution or the option that you need to think about? So email response can be sent from the case feed within the console. So it's very easy. Just think about case feed. If we want, for example, efficiently record notes or a customer interaction, what is the future or what is the solution we can propose? Write your answer in the chat. One, two, three. So the answer is we can use notes utility if we work in Lightning Service Console, or also we can use interaction log if we work with Classic. Another question. We want to provide quick and efficient access to the knowledge base while processing a case to find information that can help solve an issue or answer a question. What is the future? Or one, two, three. What is your answer? The answer is the knowledge sidebar if we are working on classic, or knowledge component if we are working in latent experience. Another question for you. If you want, for example, to save time by not constantly writing the in cases, this is very easy for you. I know that. What is your answer? Put your answer in the chat. So the answer is quick text. So quick text can be used to define frequently used text, and we talked about that right now today. We have another requirement. For example, if we want to save agents from having to repeatedly look at the case queue to find cases they can work on. So what is the solution, or what is the future we can think about it? Mm, what is your answer? So the answer is omni-channel. So omni-channel can be configured to push work to agents in real time, and work is assigned to the most qualified and available agents. Another question for you. Users need to be able to see data from an external system while in the console. What is the future or what is the solution? Mm, I'm waiting for your answer. And the answer is external objects. So it's very easy. So we are talking about external system. Another another use case, for example, the support team of an organization would like to make it easier for support agents to navigate cases and contacts related to any particular account in the Salesforce console for a service enlightening experience. What is the solution? And the solution, it's navigation rules. So navigation rules can be defined to ensure that cases and contacts open as a subtabs of the related account record in the Service Console app. Another question for you. In Service Console for Salesforce Classic this time, what allows access to widgets such as and macros at the bottom of the workspace, and the solution is, I'm waiting for your answer before. Console footer. So we have console footer. Why we have this answer? Just because we are talking about a classic version. We don't have console footer in Lightning, but in Salesforce Classic, we call that console footer. Another question, what could be used by a support agent to carry out repetitive tasks such as create case updates and sending emails and attachments? What is the answer? I know it's easy for you. And the answer is macros. And another question, which service console components can be used by support agents to make and receive phone calls? What is your answer? And the answer is, put your answer in the chat. The answer is soft phone. It's easy. And another question, which view in a Lightning Experience Service console allows viewing multiple records and their related records on the same screen, as well as quickly working through a record from a list? What is the solution, and what is the futures? We talked about that today. So just a quick reminder. So the solution or the future is speech view. It's easy. Where can quick text messages be used? We have a lot of answer here. So I need all answers. Where can quick text messages be used? We have a lot of answers here. And the answer is quick text supports emails, events, knowledge article, live agent chat, log call actions, social posts, etc. And right now we have demo time. So I will share you So this is my service console application, and we need a website. So I have an agent are here working with the service console, and here we have a website with Experience Cloud or Community Cloud, and we have here to chat, and we can chat with an expert, and we can, for example, change the name. For example, let's put Yati Mehta. So the email, let's write just that. Subject, test subject, web email, let's write something and start chatting. Okay. So Hiachi are waiting for an agent. So this is omnichannel. And as an agent, I receive a notification and I can accept. So chat started by Hiachi. So Hiachi can say hello, Hussam, and I will receive here a text. So I can also write something for Hiachi. Hello. Mm. So when I write, sorry about the name. So I received the answer here. So this is just an example about a chat. As I said, we have that also on Web Assessor website. If when you have, for example, a problem with connection or something like that, you can chat with an agent. So it's the same case here. And also we can this chart if we want as an agent or as customer. So we will close the chat, and here's my back office with my case here. So this is just a quick demo. We can work with or build this example using this model in the in Trailhead. So let's open this Trailhead. So this is this model build an experience cloud site with knowledge and chat. So we will build this website. It's a very nice website, customer support, and we can also build a chat and added it to your service console application. So I think you have now homework to do. So some resources for you. There are many resources on Trailhead. We have a lot of models and projects, and I put here a very good super badge about Service Cloud, Service Cloud, and I advise you to work to finalize or to finish this model or this super badge, because it will help you to pass your certifications, your certification exam. And with that, thank you all. Thank you for your attention. I appreciate that you are here today. And I hope I helped someone today. And please don't hesitate to send me a message on Twitter or on LinkedIn. I'm available and I will answer your questions with pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hossam. Those questions were really helpful to cover up all the topics. Thank you so much. We do have a question for you. Where we can save chats, and is this process manual, or we can have any option by which chats can be saved?
Yes, we can. We have also a story chat. So if the same person reconnect with the same email, we will have the history. We will see the history, and also we can set up the chat on the setup configuration, and we will have some code, and we can put this code, for example, on community cloud website, or maybe PHP website, if we have a PHP website or a Java Enterprise Edition website.
There's one more question. Can we add more utility items directly on utility bar after setup?
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. Can we add more utility items directly on the utility bar after setup?
Yes, I think yes. I think yes, but we can you can't try that just to verify. But I think yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much, speakers, for accepting my invite and having this wonderful session. I would request everyone to just come on camera so that we can have a screenshot. Meanwhile, the questions will be uploaded for you over LinkedIn and Twitter pages. So you just have to go ahead and ask questions. I would request the speakers and Hasti to come on camera. I suppose, yeah, Doris did.
So this is my T-shirt, North Africa Dreaming.
We love that T-shirt. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming here and sharing your knowledge with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was so nice to have you all.
Thank you.